Woo, Whoopi, like really acting even more crazy than normal. Is that even possible? Apparently. So I actually think that this is something that could ultimately get her fired. I think when it's all said and done, you're going to see like a big churn because Bob Iger wants to sell ABC News. He can't get rid of the thing fast enough, especially now that Bill Ackman's hot on the trail. So he needs to sell ABC News and try and get a little teeny penny for it. I don't think that the valuation really is there, because it's a dying business for all the reasons that we've talked about, for the reason that you're watching right here, right now. ABC News is not going to be able to exist in the future. And if it does, however it does, it's really going to be something that you bleed cash out of as a business, which means you don't want expensive salaries like David Muir or Whoopi Goldberg. And you certainly don't want the liability of nutty things like this being said. Let's watch Whoopi Goldberg just, back enjoying her time on a show that is, I promise you, going to go away as soon as they sell ABC News, as soon as Disney gets rid of it. Whoopi, you better start looking for a job. Here we go.
Just so deep. It's so deep. So now we're going to talk about some idiotic stuff. Okay? Because the motive behind the gunman arrested in an apparent assassination attempt against the former president is still under investigation, but it hasn't stopped the Republican candidate and his running mate from putting the blame on President Biden and Vice President Harris. Take a look.
But the big difference between conservatives and liberals is that no one has tried to kill Kamala Harris in the last couple of months, and two people now have tried to kill Donald Trump in the last couple of months. I'd say that's pretty strong evidence that the left needs to tone down the rhetoric and needs to cut this crap out.
The audience is appalled. Literally draws were.
Okay, it's a fair statement, right? Can't we just all agree that we should tone down the rhetoric and cut some of this stuff out? But wait for it.
Dropping in our
it's JD, clearly you've not been to one of your boss's rallies because you believe this insanity.
By the way, she has not been to one of those rallies. I have been to rallies, and I got to tell you, the people have been extraordinary. They've been such uplifting experiences, wonderful people, super polite people. Anyway, here's Whoopi.
He has been inciting violence since 2016, telling them to beat up hecklers, threaten to shoot looters and migrants. They have, I don't remember Bill Clinton about what was going on in his White House when it was sprayed by 29 shots. I don't remember Obama blaming opponents when his White House was shot up in 2011.
Of course, this blame thing, this is all new. This started with Hillary Clinton. Don't forget, when she lost, first it was Russia's fault, but then it was Donald Trump is dangerous. Donald Trump is bad. Donald Trump will ruin the country. Donald Trump this, that, and the other. By the way, he issued receipts effectively. The campaign put up 3 pages of these really dangerous comments that the likes of Kamala Harris and Joe Biden have said.
You have to really take a look in a mirror to see the reflection. One of the reasons that everybody has survived is because the Secret Service has been doing their job. Let's start with that. That's, So quit blaming folks until you decide to take a look at what's coming out of your mouth. You didn't want to tell people that it was a lie that you've been talking about when you...
Notice what she's doing right here. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you. Don't forget to subscribe, share, like, all that good stuff. But notice her. If you're listening, I'm just going to walk you through. She's looking down at note cards. Again, what did I tell you? Scripted. So the producers put these little blue note cards together for the host at The View, and they want them all to take a certain position. And what do? They have little signs that they throw up to the audience to get them to cheer, or get them to boo, or get them to clap. It's so contrived. So contrived. So she's looking at her notes because she needs to refer to those to know what her talking points are that somebody else has outlined.
You're sending people to go against folks in the community, in Ohio. It's a lie, but you talk about, Joy,
Unbelievable. That show should really be off the air. And again, I predict, mark my words, I don't steer you wrong. You know what? When that network gets bought, if that show continues, it will be in an extraordinarily different form, likely without Whoopi, likely without Joy. Because what they're going to try and do is what all these networks are. Hey, even cable's doing it, right? Cable got rid of some of their biggest stars. I mean, they don't have to pay Tucker's salary. Trust me, Jesse, he's great, but he's not that expensive, not yet. And if Jesse wanted to, he could go out on his own. I'm still sort of surprised Sean doesn't do that, right? I mean, because anybody who's got any sort of personality should be able to go out on their own. And maybe that's what Whoopi will do. But why would she stay on at The View when they're not going to pay her? And they're not going to be able to pay her because they're going to bleed that organization for any cash they can until really and truly it goes away, because people don't consume their media on network television anymore. That's just the reality of it.